Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Hello, I'm Stephen Willis of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast, and I'm joined by Daylan Flowers for his weekly segment talking about all things Ole Miss. Hopefully you are staying kind of warm right now, Daylan. How you doing, bud?
Doing good, man. Yeah, this is uncomfortable times for Southern people, but it's also a fun time to kind of just kind of enjoy a little bit of downtime. But I'm doing good, man. Everything's going well.
Yeah, it's probably a beneficial thing that Ole Miss doesn't start class until next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
know some of the kids in Oxford have a little bit of fun outside with the snow. So, but we enjoy this time as well because we don't really get it too often. And so when we do, we kind of, don't know how to really react to it. So we kind of lose our minds a little bit, but we all enjoy the snow weather.
Yeah, we had one of these days whenever I was at Ole Miss back in, heck, it might have been 97. It was in the late 90s, as the Gen Zers say. But that little ditch that is on the way to where King Cannon Hall was from the Student Union down that road to where it goes, it's a real steep drop off. And there at the bottom, there's a grate that you can see, like a sewer grate.
Yeah.
Well, you could not see that, and people saw that when the snow fell. They went out to that and started sledding down that hill, and somebody just blew themselves up on that sewer grate. And I was like, at that point, no more playing in the snow. I'm done with it. Now I'm officially a grown up. That's kind of how that went for me.
Yeah, I'm not much of a snow person. I don't really like the cold weather, so I prefer to stay indoors during this type of time. But I think it gives you me an opportunity to kind of do different things, like read a little bit more and just kind of be a little bit more focused on maybe me for times that I may not really get. So I use it to different abilities that other people may use it, but I like it in most part anyways. So we'll see how it continue goes. Hopefully it gets out of here quickly so I can get some driving done a little bit.
Yeah, and listen to you trying to use it to become a better, more well-balanced adult. Listen, Daylan doing what he needs to do. Anyway, let's talk about Ole Miss. They had a decent visit weekend. They had 4 people on campus. They got 3 commitments. We don't know which are the 3 commitments. We know 2 of them. They got a commitment from Yam Banks and Daquan Wright, a tight end out of Virginia Tech, and a safety out of South Alabama. I told this story on my morning walk this morning, Daylan, that when Yam Banks was at South Alabama, the team in 2022, basically a flu bug went around, and Yam was unable to travel with the team to Georgia Southern whenever they left on Friday. So all of Friday nights, he got fluids, and you could tell just the person telling this story that it just ate the kid up, right? He got up in the morning on Saturday morning, said, I'm going to the ball game. Apparently got to the airport. They picked him up at the airport. The coach let him play in the ball game. So not only did Georgia Southern not win the game, South Alabama came back and won the football game, but Yam Banks got an interception. It's a pretty cool story.
Yeah, and I think that just that little story is kind of a testament to who he is as a player. And I think that a kid like that, especially in this age of football, that has the ability and the heart to go out there and just be on the field in general after going through a couple of days of that type of weathering, is really important to who he is. I'm excited about Yam Bakes. I really am, and I think he fits the type of system that we've seen over the last couple of months with this football team. And I think the ability with Wes Neighbors out there now, and even Brian Brown coming in lately from Cincinnati, what they will be able to do with him will be really special. Really athletic kid. One of the things I think he helps benefits us the most is his open field tackling was really well at South Alabama, and that's something that our defense just had a little bit of trouble with throughout the season. That was something that I saw that could definitely be improved from our defense with open field tackling. And I think he brings a really good piece of that to our defense. And just as you mentioned, man, he just brings a lot of a good attitude and a winning mentality, and he brings a bit of swagger that is sometimes needed from a team, especially from different players at different positions that sometimes has been lacking from our team over the last couple of months. And I think Yam Banks brings that into our defense, and that's very important for us. I'm excited about different things. I really like Logan Diggs coming in from
Mhm.
LSU. I know that's a guy that has kind of not really been talked about a lot just because of so many of the different, visits and guys we've gotten. I'm excited about him for so many different reasons, but I just think he brings like a ground and pound type of weathering to our offense. A guy that is not the fastest guy on the team, but has a lot of heart. Watching a lot of his film was really good at just keep driving his legs. When he got one tackle on it, he was just keep driving and kept driving his legs, and I think that was really good, especially when that comes to our end zone offense. I think that gives us an ability to have confidence in a running back that we know we can get it off, and we need 1 or 2 yards, can get that 1 or 2 yards for us. And it was really a very movable guy for his size. He's kind of a big guy, but he really can move pretty well in the open field, and I think that gives him a lot of depth in terms of how we use him as a running back. Maybe it's more of a receiving running back as well too, to give us more options. So I'm definitely excited to see Logan Diggs in this offense, and we're going to continue to see more guys come to Oxford, get a look at what this program is all about and where we're going to. And I'd like to say, and I think you said this a couple of times too, when we get guys to Oxford, I'm pretty confident that we want them and we get them and we keep them there. And so I love when we just get that opportunity to get guys to Oxford, and we usually get a good chance of keeping them there.
Yeah, and the rumor is Logan Diggs has an ACL problem for the time being, but they're expecting him back shortly after the non-conference game to be ready to go. I think it's probably another couple games after that, so Ole Miss is going to have to find another running back as well to kind of bridge that. I think Jonah Coleman,
Yes.
who is going into the transfer portal, is somebody that is being followed on social media by Kelvin Bolding and Enrique Davis. So that lets you know that Ole Miss is at least trying to get in the game
Mm.
with this player. I'll talk about him a little bit more in depth on tomorrow morning's podcast as well. But that's an example of another running back that they're potentially trying to add on top of everything else.
Yeah, and Daquan Wright is really important for us too, because I think he gives a little bit more of a speed option than Caden Prescorn. And I think that just gives us, different schemes to use offensively when we want to, kind of circumstance differently from Caden. I think Caden is a little bit better of a run blocker than Daquan Wright, but I think he is a really good guy to come in and help Caden out of that position. So I'm excited to see how we use him as well. I know there's a cornerback from Michigan, Amarion
Walker.
Walker. Yeah, I'm excited to see him. I believe we're getting him down to Oxford. He's a little bit of a raw guy, hasn't seen too much of the field in Michigan, but I think he has a really good ability to mix in with this defense. I think he's like a good size dude, 6'3". I think
6'3", 180. Yeah.
yeah, 180. I think that's really good size for a cornerback position. And I think he gives us a little bit more versatility with moving around in the field as well. And John Saunders announcing him coming back is really big. He played a very substantial part in our defense this year and was just a really good leader for our defense. And I think him coming back is a really good placement for us as well. Because I think, we get so positive about all the transfers coming in. That's always a good thing. But so many of our returning starters coming back is just as great because they know the program a little bit better. They've been in these situations. They know what the coaching staff likes to do. And so maybe when there's a mishap on the field, those guys can be that player coach type of guy and fill in for the new guys, the younger guys, and kind of be a better player role leader. And I think that's very important to have guys like him coming back. And so I'm excited for him to be back. He had a really good first season here.
Yeah, and Amorion Walker, he is one of the candidates for that extra shark from Pete Golding. The other one is Kendrick Blackshear, who
Mm-hmm.
also is between Ole Miss and Texas, a linebacker. I think it's Amorion Walker. That's who I think the shark is for. And if you look at articles about him, he is just a combine freak. His 3-cone workout. I know people that are fans of DK Metcalf is probably rolling their eyes at the idea that I'm talking about a 3-cone drill, but he's also like a 4.31 in the 40-yard dash. He is very good in the T drill. All of this is good for a combine workout warrior. If this guy develops at 6'3", he's the type of person you can put in a field corner type position and say, go.
Yeah, and I think his ability to just be just be versatile in many different areas on the field gives him a bit of comfortability to really be great at many different aspects on our defense. And I think when you put him out there, I think he just sees the field really well. And I'm excited. These things, type of things, get me really excited for the upcoming springtime, just to see how they're mixing in with the practices, how they're flowing with the defense, and how coaches are using them, where they're using them. Are they using them more aggressively? What kind of formations are we using? So these type of things, these type of commitments, these visits get me really excited for the upcoming springtime.
Yeah, and to change subjects a little bit before we get out of here, Ole Miss basketball is ranked again. I think 21 in one poll, 22 in another. They deserve to be. This is a very, very good basketball team. They have LSU on the road Wednesday night. If Ole Miss can get past that one and get to 3-1 in the league, they got a mother of all matchup against the Auburn Tigers in Neville Arena at 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night. I mean, this is the next big basketball game of the Chris Beard era, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's fun for this team because just the accountability within the first couple of months of this team has been really remarkable. And we've seen just so much progression from these players in such a short amount of time. We have really developed something very quickly here, and I think that the players are truly loving every aspect of their basketball right now. It'll be a fun couple of weeks going into the LSU and the Auburn games. Auburn has been playing fantastic, and it's really one of the hardest conferences in the country to win a road game in. And I'll tell you that from many years of being an Arkansas and an Ole Miss fan, you had to have a different type of edge and confidence going into basketball arenas in this conference, especially at Auburn with Bruce Pearl, and they are just playing exceptional half court offense and half court defense right now. They're smothering on both ends of the floor right now. But I think this LSU game will be a testament to how well we can take good shots and can we rebound and take care of the rebound game. I think those are the two things that I saw from the Vanderbilt game that I think that consistently can make us a really elite team. And when we go into road environments, if we can be more calm in those kind of areas, I really see no problem with this basketball team going forward, and how high their ceiling can be. I think they've been given the ability to do their own type of thing with Chris Beard here now, and I think they're really enjoying just having a free flow of different opportunities to be great at different things on the floor. So I'm really excited to just continue seeing what we're doing, man, and it feels good, man, to just have a basketball program, the men and the women's side to just really be elevating in the country right now. I know we're not, where we, currently want to be in the women's side, but we're getting there. And the men's team is just going to continue improving. And so it's going to be a really fun time for Ole Miss fans. Just really sit back and enjoy it while you can.
All right, Dalen. Season 3 of the Dalen Show, or season 2 of the Dalen Show. How's that going?
Season 4, man, and we're
Season 4.
actually we're starting recording this week for the first episode. Yeah, so that's the shocker that's coming out soon. So yeah, season 4 starting up this week, man.
Okay, we're gonna keep asking you about it. Whenever you put it out there, let it know. Let all these good folks know where they can catch your stuff, man.
Appreciate you, man. As always, much love to you, Hotty Toddy.
Thanks again for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. Daylan Flowers, thank you so much, man.